If I had a wishing ring, I'd never ask for any worldly thing. My heart and I agree on what a wish should be. One miracle would do, the miracle that you'd love me.
What percentage of the state is homeless?
Around 100,000.
100,000 homeless?
Yeah, around 100,000.
Here's the deal. California spends billions of dollars every year to reduce homelessness. Now some lawmakers want to know why it isn't helping. Since Newsom has taken office, more than $20 billion have been spent to reduce homelessness, but the number of unhoused has grown by a third.
It was sort of the most American of the American states. It was the frontier, but it's actually enabling addiction. Or if you're a racial minority, or if you have a disability or a mental illness, that you're a victim.
The state had the largest rate of increase in its homeless population in the country at 6.2%.
How she ended up living on the street 3 months ago, addicted to fentanyl.
And my dealer said, you know, I've got these new pills.
California people have always been more interested in, like, who are you? What do you do? It's the home of the human potential movement, of what used to be called sort of peak psychology, positive psychology. What are you doing to make the most of your life? Your life is limited. You know, what are you going to do to really seize the best of yourself, to realize the best of yourself? That was the California I was drawn to. I was definitely on the radical left. As a young man, I spent a bunch of time working with radical movements and have started to see some of the dark side of that in California. And in particular, the way it shows up most dramatically is what we call homelessness. Folks on the streets. You know, I have 3 friends from high school growing up that became homeless addicts. You know, 2 are dead. My aunt had schizophrenia, so mental illness is something I was familiar with. I understood addiction. And when you talk to people on the street, it's obviously not just because they couldn't make the rent. These are folks suffering overwhelmingly from untreated mental illness and or addiction. Have you had a psychiatric diagnosis?
Yeah.
Which one?
Schizophrenic.
Okay. You have a doctor?
No.
The majority of homeless people are that drugs is an integral, if not main reason why you're out here.
You know, we had a woman, Shawn, had serious mental illness, maybe schizophrenia. Her legs, she was on the streets, her legs were rotting. You know, their bottom. They took her off the street. They amputated the bottom parts of her legs. And then can you guess what they did after that?
Put her back on the street.
Put her back on the street. That's not civilized behavior. There's actually not as much panhandling anymore because it's so easy to get cash to buy your drugs. 20 to 40 bucks a day, and you can usually get enough meth and fentanyl to smoke all day. They pay you to be homeless in San Francisco. And that's something I had documented already. They give cash.
200 food stamps and 620 bucks cash a month. Wow. Forget about it. Why wouldn't I do it?
There's a lot of hills in San Francisco Bay Area and also in LA, so you can get away from it. And when you talk to people, they ask, what are you working on? I tell them about this and they go, oh yeah, that's why I don't go downtown.
They have defunded the police. They have demoralized the entire law enforcement community.
Yep.
You can see the recruiting videos both in law enforcement and in the military. They've gone woke. Nobody joins the military law enforcement for a woke agenda. Do you feel like there's a deeper agenda to this?
I mean, look, what we're talking about here is the end of civilization. Mm-hmm. Civilization depends on law and order, cheap energy, meritocracy. If you don't have those, and those are all 3 things that the radical woke left are undermining. The distrust is at an all-time high. People don't trust the media, they don't trust the government, they don't trust our institutions. It takes a long time to build up trust, but it doesn't take very long to lose it. We see borders that are porous or open in the United States. We sent too much of our industry to China. We thought we could just have everybody else manufacture for us and not manufacture alone. We failed to deal with serious medical problems, mental illness, addiction. We allowed our children to consume toxic amounts of social media and develop psychiatric disorders, including anxiety and depression. We see all this weird behaviors where people think that they can change their biological sex. Somehow people got in their minds that they could change it through drugs and surgeries. So you see a set of disorders in the society, and it's in part because we're not oriented in any way. And I think part of it has to do with a spiritual crisis that comes out of the belief that we're all alone, that nothing else is going on, that the scientists have figured out precisely what it's all about, that it all started with the Big Bang, and then there was evolution, and that we're all alone in the universe, and everybody knows that. And then when you die, nothing lives on, and you have no soul. So the system is unraveling right now.
As I see the moonlight shining in your eyes, can't resist the power